Hi, I'm Nick, and this is the TbT channel. Welcome to this very special video. I've got some news, some very exciting news, some very awesome, beautiful and wonderful news. But this news is true. For years, we've been after the ultimate hunting air rifle. We've been after the ultimate caliber, the ultimate pellet, but we want it at the ultimate power, sub 12 foot-pounds. This is important to us because the majority of people watching this video are going to be in the UK. And 12 foot-pounds is the hard and fast ceiling that we have for power before you need a license for your air rifle. So, with that in mind, there have been developments in recent years. Slugs not being the least of them. A more efficient, ballistically efficient, that is, projectile for an air rifle. That means we can push the power up, and because of their boat tail design, we can actually get these supersonic. And supersonic is good because it's going to give you extended range. It gives you a lot more power. Trying to keep power subsonic is difficult. And air rifles, when you get to a certain power, they're even worse than subsonic because they're going transonic. Now, transonic, let's have a little chat about that. During the war, Second World War, Spitfire pilots would find, if they went into a steep high-speed dive, that they would the controls would freeze. They'd lock, they couldn't get out of the dive, they'd effectively lose control and have to bail out. What was happening? They didn't find out until later what it was that was happening, but they were going transonic. They were entering this zone between subsonic and supersonic. And when we started looking at designing supersonic planes back in the 50s and early 60s, it was this transonic zone that created all of the engineering obstacles. Getting up through it and coming back down through it creates all kinds of problems. And it is exactly the same for airgun pellets. If you've got an airgun pellet shooting out at up to 950 feet a second, it's fine. If you have an airgun pellet, preferably a slug, traveling at over 1150 feet a second, supersonic, it's absolutely fine. But if you try and have anything that's pellet shaped, traveling between 950 and 1050 feet a second, that is transonic. It gets all kinds of turbulence, all kinds of problems. It'll tumble and it will skew off in a different direction. And this, I mean, this is what you'll find if you see the, I think a lot of gamos now in the United States are listing themselves as being 1,000 feet a second guns. Okay, and that's using an alloy wasted air rifle pellet. And yes, over a chronograph, you can get higher than that, and that's wonderful. But you can't hit a cow's ass with a banjo because they're just going transonic and they're flipping out all over the place. The pellets are tumbling and it's no good. And also, when you get up to that speed, you are obviously over, even with an alloy pellet, you're over the UK 12 foot-pound power limit. So a manufacturer has been looking at alternatives, and I think they have found it. Now, I've been testing these out to 72 meters, which is the length of my back garden, and I can tell you they are fast. They are sub 12 and they are fast. I'm not allowed to tell you exactly what. I'm not allowed to tell you who they are made by, but I can tell you it's not a 17, that's a 177 there. It's not a 177. That is a 137 or a 3.5 millimeter pellet. These are prototypes. These are two different materials. When they come into production, they're going to be made from one material. What that material is going to be, I don't know yet. I hope to get some soon to test. they come out subsonic. I'm not going to say exactly well, more than 1,000, but less than supersonic. And the ballistic coefficient of them means they're not coming transonic. They're not coming down as far as 900 and 970 until they're out almost at 90 yards. So it will tumble, as anything will tumble when it gets out that far. A 2.2 LR, the subsonics in those, because of the ballistic coefficient, because of the mass, they travel further. But when they go transonic, they do tumble, but that's further on down the line. With these, they're lighter, so they don't retain the energy so much. So they do tumble, but they don't tumble until 90 yards. So that means you can have an exceedingly flat trajectory. I mean, 177, guys, you think, oh, we've got a flat trajectory. Loopy, might as well throw a brick. Looks like a rainbow, mate. You need one of these. These are flat and these are fast. Properly fast. And it's quite exciting because 2.0 and 2.5 aside, it's not very often that you get an alternative to a 177 or 2.2, is it? Now, that's about all I'm allowed to say on this for now. But like, subscribe, hit notifications. We will be releasing more as we get it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your April the 1st, and I will speak to you all again soon. Thank you. Goodbye.